Welcome to Windows 10 Boot Camp. This module will prepare you with the basic Windows 10 skills that you will need to use the computer. If you don't have a machine running Windows 10, say you're on a machine running an older version of Windows, don't panic. The goal of this lesson is to teach you concepts that are found in most versions of Windows, with the exception of Windows 8. In this module, we'll learn the features of the Windows desktop and the functions of the taskbar and Start button. We'll learn about the File Explorer and how to work with files. We'll learn how to activate applications, arrange windows, and multitask on a Windows machine. On the Windows desktop, we'll use our computer's mouse or trackpad to control the cursor on the screen. For now, let's just point at things. Feel free to follow along with the video. There are several areas on the desktop that we want to learn. We may have files or folders on the desktop. Also on the desktop, we'll see the recycle bin, where we send files that we want to delete. At the bottom left of the screen, we see the Start button. At the bottom of the screen, we also see the File Manager, which allows us to open the computer's storage system. Next to that is the taskbar, which allows us to access running Windows as well as place applications that we frequently use. Finally, at the bottom right corner, we see the notification area. This lets us see programs that run in the background, such as our network connection or speaker volume. It also lets us see the date and time. For Windows 10 users, you'll see Cortana, the digital assistant. While she's pretty neat, let's just focus on the main features of the desktop for right now. The recycle bin, the Start button, the File Manager, the taskbar, and the notification area. Take a moment to pause the video and look at this screenshot. Then, look at your own desktop. Do you have any files or folders on your desktop? Do you see a recycling bin? Can you find your Start button, File Manager, taskbar, and Notification Center? When you're finished, please resume the video. Pause the video now. The Start button has been a fixture in Windows since Windows 95. It enables you to quickly find and launch programs as well as find your files. It's been a mainstay in all Windows releases except for Windows 8, when it was replaced with a modified menu. If you're using a Windows 8 machine at home, unfortunately, most of this section won't apply to you. The Start button will look differently based on the version of Windows that you're using. It may appear as a green rectangle in Windows XP, or it may be a round button with the 4 squared flag in Windows Vistas and Windows 7. In Windows 10, it will be a square, white, window-shaped icon. Though we can use the Start button for many functions, most people use it to find and launch their programs. To do this, place your cursor over the Start button and click it once with the left mouse button. The Start menu will open, and you will see a list of available applications on it. Take a moment to pause the video and start the Microsoft Edge application, Windows 10's default web browser. If you're not running Windows 10, Microsoft Internet Explorer will work as well. Click on the Start button, select All Apps, scroll down to find the Edge or Internet Explorer application. Click the program's name to activate it. To close the application, look at the window and click on the X icon in the upper right-hand corner. Now try this yourself. Please open the Edge browser or Microsoft Internet Explorer on your desktop, then close it when you're finished. Pause the video and start the Edge or Internet Explorer application now. Did you notice that when you activated the web browser, that it appeared in the taskbar? Did you notice that when you closed the window, it vanished from the taskbar? The taskbar manages all of your open windows for you so you can see what you're running on your computer. You can also pin frequently used applications to the taskbar so you can start them and find them quickly. You may already have a few icons there. When we open an application, it appears in the taskbar. If we have multiple applications in the taskbar, we can click on one to bring it to the top of the desktop. When we have multiple windows running, our desktop can get cluttered, so we want to manage windows to keep our desktop neat and organized. Though there are many ways to do this, we're just going to focus on the basic commands in this lesson: minimizing, maximizing, resizing, and closing windows. If we look in the upper right-hand corner of a window, we see three icons. The icon on the left is the minimize icon. It will take a window and shrink it down to the taskbar. To restore the window, simply click on its button on the taskbar. Pause the video for a moment and go back to your Start menu. Open another web browser, just like you did earlier. Practice for a bit just using the Minimize button, then using the taskbar to restore the window. When you are comfortable, resume the video. Please pause the video now. Now let's look at the middle button. This button can do two things, depending on how the window is placed on the desktop. When we see one window in the button, we can click on it to maximize the window. Our maximized window now covers the entire screen. More importantly, instead of one window, the middle button now features two windows on it, one overlapping another. When we click the button now, our maximized window resizes itself. It no longer fills the entire screen. And when we place our cursors at the edge of the window, top, bottom, sides, or corners, the cursor becomes a double-headed arrow. If we click and hold our trackpad or left mouse button and drag the double-headed arrow, we can manually resize the window. When we release the mouse button, the window assumes the new size. Take a moment to pause the video. Look at the web browser you opened in the previous exercise. Spend a few moments playing with the Maximize and Restore button. When the window is restored, please take a few moments to resize this button several times. Please pause the video now. So far, we've learned how to minimize, maximize, restore, and resize windows. Finally, we need to learn how to close windows. If we look in the far right corner of the window, we see a button with an X on it, the Close button. Click that button to close an active window. Take a moment to pause the video. Return to the web browser that you've been using during this section. Use the Close button to close that window. When you are finished, please resume the video. Before we start talking about files and folders, we need to clarify some vocabulary. A file is a specific piece of information on your computer. It could be a Word document, a picture, an MP3, or an icon. A file is one specific thing. A folder is a container for files. A folder can hold multiple things. You can also put one folder inside another folder. We call this process nesting folders. The File Explorer is what we use to look at the storage system, the contents of our hard drive. The File Explorer appears as a manila folder in the taskbar. When we click it, we can see our desktop and downloads. We can also see our hard drive as well as any storage devices that we may have connected to our computer, say an external hard drive or USB drive. We have access to our libraries, our documents, pictures, music, and videos. Note that we see the contents represented as folders. We open a folder and we see its contents. We can make folders in Windows with our mouse. So far, we've been using our left mouse button, but now we're going to use the right mouse button. To make a new folder, we hover our mouse over the desktop. Then we click the right mouse button. A menu appears. If we look towards the bottom of the menu, we see an option marked New. When we hover our mouse over New, another menu appears, giving us several things that we can create. For now, we will place our mouse over the Folder option and click the left mouse button. A folder named New Folder will appear on the desktop. The folder is highlighted, and we can rename it if we wish. If you accidentally clicked the desktop and cannot rename the folder, right-click the new folder, select Rename, and type the new name in. Look at your desktop. Create a folder on the desktop named DuckTales. Double-click the DuckTales folder to open it. Inside the DuckTales folder, create another folder and call it Uncle Scrooge. Double-click the Uncle Scrooge folder to open it. Inside the Uncle Scrooge folder, use the right-click, but this time, instead of a folder, create 3 new text documents. Call them Huey, Dewey, and Louie. When you have finished the exercise, resume the video. Please press pause now. Let's review what we just did creating folders and files. To begin, we used the right click to make our DuckTales folder. Then we open the DuckTales folder and we create the Uncle Scrooge folder. We open the Uncle Scrooge folder and use the right-click function to create text documents that we named Huey, Dewey, and Louie.